Welcome back to the Kino Cave, and today I wanted to talk physical media with you guys since I love physical media and I just want to platform it as much as possible. Today I thought I'd go through some of my own physical media from my own shelf and pull some of my favorite and least favorite pieces of physical media from my collection. So the presentation and design of a lot of physical media has kind of become shit, for lack of a better term. they, it tends to get a lot very lazy, and obviously because I guess with streaming and stuff, people are buying it less, so I guess studios feel like they don't need to put as much effort into something like a Blu-ray or a DVD like design for the case or anything like that, or box sets either. They feel like they don't have to put as much effort in, which is sad because I love to get a good piece of physical media, and I like to see it get a bunch of special features, and I like to see the presentation of it. And I think you lose something when it's just like a thin plastic case with like one disc in it and it's just got the movie on it and that's it. I like to see special features. I like to see, making of stuff, and especially if it's a box set, I want to see presentation. So I thought I'd go through some of my favorite and least favorite. This isn't like all of my favorite and least favorite. I was gonna do that originally, but there's just so much to talk about, and maybe one day I'll do like a 2 hour long physical media collection thing. But that's not for today. Today I just picked four of my favorite and four of my least favorite. So I'm gonna go worst then best, then worst then best, and do four of each. And hopefully this will show people what good physical media looks like and what bad physical media looks like. I'm gonna get into my first example of bad physical media. So the first one I got here is the Nightmare on Elm Street collection. This is the 7 Nightmare on Elm Street films from part 1 up to Wes Craven's New Nightmare. And first of all, I will say I bought this in Germany when I was over there visiting family, and so I think just the way German physical media is presented, they really do have kind of compactness in mind with a lot of this stuff, because this is meant to be a box set, but look at how thin that is. 7 films is included in this. Uh, but aside from that, I mean, there's a pretty decent set of special features on it, making ofs for all the films, which you get that a lot with older films. The problem with making of stuff really exists with newer films rather than older films. Like when I bought The Substance on Blu-ray, I was super excited, and all it had was like a 5 minute clip of the director talking about it in an interview, and that was it. Like, I wanted to know everything about the making of that movie, but unfortunately the disc didn't provide any of that. But in terms of presentation, and I know that most of the Blu-ray collections have this same design where it's just kind of a white sheet looking thing, and it's just Freddy poking out of it. And to be honest, I'm sick of this picture of Freddy. I'm pretty sure it's on my 4K steelbook of the first Nightmare on Elm Street. So yeah, I really hope that this picture kind of dies soon. I know that the Elm Street movies are getting a 4K restoration soon. I think it's supposed to come out at the end of this year. And I really hope that they come up with some new artwork for that and some good artwork for that. I've heard bad things, but hopefully the artwork turns out really great. Because I would definitely snatch that up and finally get rid of this. Because even worse than it just having the same generic design, the discs have 2 movies to a disc, which again just feels lazy and pointless. It's like it's really disappointing to see. Although I will give them points because there is a bonus disc just for special features, so points for that. But yeah, I can't say this is a great example of physical media, especially for one of my favorite horror franchises of all time. I think they could have done a lot better with this. Now, onto a good example of physical media, and a lot of this one lies in the design. It is the Avengers movie collection, the Avengers Assembled 4 movie collection. So this is the 4 Avengers films from Marvel Studios, and it has the typical discs and the typical special features and stuff. There's not that much extra with that, but I gotta give points for the presentation. For one thing, it's a good, sturdy, solid outer box, which I always appreciate. And I like the clean concrete design with the Avengers A on it. I think you know, rather than like we'll get into this later on in the video, but when you have like a bunch of Photoshop actors just plastered across the poster, it can look muddled and it just doesn't look good on the shelf. But I like how it's just a nice plain logo, and then on the side you have a logo for each of the 6 mainline Avengers. Does that focus? Yeah. You got logos for the main 6 Avengers. I really hope I'm still in focus. And then when you open it up and you go into the inside, you have the 10-year kind of anniversary logo of Marvel Studios, which was big at the time of like Endgame coming out. And you have all the Marvel heroes as far as Avengers Endgame in this box set. So they're all there. It's really nice kind of looking at them and looking at each hero. And another thing I really like is the presentation of the discs, because each little panel here has the different Avengers logo, and the disc lines up with the background, which I really like. It's just really good presentation, really solid. Oy. And with Avengers Endgame, you get the extra bonus disc at the end here as well. So really solid presentation. Like I said, there's nothing really special about it in terms of like special features or anything, but I just love the way they presented this box set. And to be honest, I look at this box set more than I actually rewatch any of these movies, which is fun. Back into another example of the worst physical media I have on the shelf, and this isn't the worst, but it's pretty close, and I've got very specific problems with this, but it's another superhero franchise. A lot of these are superhero franchises now that I look at them. But it's the X-Men collection. Now, I like the presentation here. I like how it's kind of like got that multicolored holographic thing going on. I like how it's just the plain. It's the X symbol. It's not like a bunch of photoshopped actors or anything. And, you know, the discs all have the typical special features that will be on it. But problem number 1, this flimsy cardboard outer shell. Problem number 2, it has to open like an envelope here, which is really annoying. Especially if you're kind of watching some X-Men movies and say you want to do maybe the trilogy over a course of a week, which I often like to do. I like to, you know, poke out film franchises and just over the course of a couple of weeks just go through each film again and rewatch. So then you kind of have to leave this envelope parcel thing open the whole time, which looks really terrible on the shelf. Yeah, I absolutely hate the way this is presented, and obviously the cheap, shitty cardboard gets crinkled and stuff, and just terrible for presentation. The actual cases on the inside, and I've thought about doing this a few times, of just leaving the cases out as they are like this and doing away with the cardboard thing altogether, but still, I enjoy it. They got the kind of classic X symbol, I think. I think it's a reversible cover, this one. Yeah, it's reversible, so you can also have your classic kind of poster inside here as well. I actually really like this cover for the Wolverine movies, the 2 X-Men Origins and the Wolverine. I think they look really cool. And, of course, the regular X-Men trilogy. Again, no problems with these. It's really all to do with that flimsy cardboard cover. Now, onto another one of the best, and this one is a very personal one for me because it is my Star Wars 6-film saga collection. Now, I got this like 10 or 15 years ago when I first got into Star Wars. I remember I got it with my brother, and I went through all the Star Wars movies, and this is how I got into Star Wars, is watching these specific discs. So this will always have a special place in my heart, but it is still to this day one of my favorite, and obviously one of my first ever physical media box sets, or at least one that I still cherish to this day, because it's probably the first Blu-ray I ever got as well. I only ever got DVDs back then, and I only upgraded to Blu-ray when I was like 16. So this is one of the only Blu-rays I had as well. And I love the simple design of it. You have Luke and Anakin at the binary sunset, and you have the mines and stuff here. Really nice artwork. And it's the same artwork on the inside. And it opens up kind of like a booklet. So you got all your discs there. And it comes with a ton of special features, a ton of documentaries. And even, now this thing is ripped to shit because it's like 15 years old and I played with it a lot as a kid. But it's a little kind of art book as well. I'm not going to go through this whole thing, but because it will fall apart if I try and hold it up like this. But it's got all this nice Star Wars artwork in there. And yeah, just one of the best presentations I've seen in a physical media box. I will never ever sell this or get rid of it because it holds a lot of sentimental value, and I also think even the new Skywalker Saga box set, it's cool, but I still think this is better. So now back to one of the worst. It is my Batman 1966 TV show. This is like my prime drunk watching TV series. When I've had a few too many, I tend to throw on Batman 66, and it just gets me ready to go to bed. Because I think I need like bright colors and like Adam West just teaching me life lessons from the 60s. And unfortunately, this is a pretty piss poor physical media box. For one thing, we've got once again our kind of flimsy cardboard box here, which is not great, but whatever, they're fairly common, so it can't bother me too much. But the biggest sin that this commits is that all the discs are like stacked up on top of each other. So there's like 2 or 3 discs stacked up on top of each other. It's my least favorite thing. It's my biggest pet peeve. There's a worse one coming that commits this sin, but I absolutely hate when they stack discs on top of each other. It gives me so much anxiety because I feel like I'm going to scratch the discs at some point when they're stacked on top of each other, and if the disc spins, then I feel like it's going to scratch itself. And also, if you want to get to a specific disc, you sometimes have to take off like 3 or 4 discs just to get to the one at the bottom. It's super annoying. I hate it. I hate it so much. Just make it 2 cases or make it a bigger case. But anyway, and also the episodes, the like list of episodes. There's 120 episodes in this, and the list is in the fucking thing. You can kind of see them there poking through. It's on the underside of the cover, which means you have to take the cover out to look at it, rather than just putting a little pamphlet in it with the episode list on it. So yeah, absolutely hate that, but otherwise it's not the worst. The worst is coming. Another one of the best is my Batman the Animated Series Deluxe Edition box set. I fucking love this thing so much. I got it for Christmas maybe? Yeah, I think so. But again, one of the best pieces of physical media I've ever owned, and I'll get into why. For one thing, we've got, once again, a nice sturdy box that's not going to get, it's going to get scuffed and stuff, but it's never going to rip, it's never going to crease or anything like that. And on the inside, I'm not sure if this is going to show up on the camera. Yeah, you see all that nice artwork there. And I love the black and red, the simplicity of it, but there's still detail here. And one of my favorite things is that it opens like a book, and each sort of page has a disc in it. And we've got our list of episodes per disc right here, and the special features for each disc, which I love. And each one has little bits of artwork on the inside. It's absolutely fantastic. One of the best presented, probably the best presented physical media that I own in terms of like a box set with like a bunch of discs in it. There is one piece of physical media that I think is better than this, but it's not for the reason of presentation. This is definitely the best in terms of presentation, and yeah, it's amazing. I absolutely love this, and I will cherish it forever. Now, on to probably the piece of physical media that it annoys me the most out of any. And it is the Flash box set. All 9 seasons of the show. I love this show. I loved it since I was a teenager. I don't care what you think of it, or you think that it's bad because the CGI is bad in it or whatever, and because it's got a bunch of drama in it. This show will always be important to me, and I knew that when I was getting a physical media release with the complete show that I had to get it. And I actually got it at a discount, which is a funny story for maybe another time, but this physical media release pisses me off to no end. And first thing is, the design of the box. Now I like the lightning bolt, I like the red and stuff. I even like the picture of Barry that they put on it, and I like that season 1 Barry is on the back. However, it's just photoshopped a bunch of actors in here, and we've got, like, for one thing, Cisco, a character who was on the show. He was a mainstay in the show for like 7 straight seasons, and he's not on the box. But we do have Cecile, who has been in it since season 1, but she's not really a main character until the last few seasons. We have this guy, I don't even remember this guy's name, but he's on the cover. We have Allegra, who again I like, but she's not been around since season 1. I get Killer Frost and I get Iris being there, and obviously Barry's there, and I like that Joe is there because again he has been a mainstay of the show. But where's Cisco? Where's Tom Cavanagh? Tom Cavanagh has been in the show nearly every episode, playing multiple characters for the entire run, and he's not on the box. But we need space for Allegra and the guy who replaced Cisco as the guy on the computer. It makes no sense whatsoever. It's like they just took a poster from season 9 and just slapped it on here and thought, yep, that'll do. Insanely frustrating, but that's not the end of it. For one thing, we've got a little kind of slipcover thing with our cheap and shitty plastic, or cardboard even, not plastic. Then we have another flimsy cardboard slip. Why do we need 2? I don't know. But it does make a mess when I want to watch the show. Also, 9 seasons, 1 case. 9 seasons. Nearly 200 episodes. 1 case. And how did they fit them all in 1 case, you might be asking me, dear watcher or listener? Well, they did it by stacking 3 discs on top of each other in each slot. 3 discs on top of each other for each one for the entire thing. So if you want to watch, say, disc 3 of season 1, which is like, it's got some great episodes in it and stuff, you have to dig down. And also, if there's a disc, because sometimes I have to take out these 3 discs and gently place them down over here, and then I have to take out another 3 discs to get to the bottom of that one. It is a nightmare to try and watch this show. And of course, they have the list of episodes, but they're all on the inside cover. And here's the thing with physical media, guys. If you don't do physical media that much, or physical media that's like big and bulky like this, the bigger and wider that this slip cover thing on the inside is, the more annoying it is to try and maneuver and not tear when you're trying to take it out and put it back in. Oh, like 200, nearly 200 episodes, and they couldn't just put a little pamphlet with all the episodes on it. God. This box set annoys me to no end, and they're never going to make another one. They're never going to make a better one, because this show's never going to, like, come back. I hope that Grant Gustin gets to do The Flash again at some stage, maybe in a multiverse thing or something, or hell, I wouldn't even be mad if James Gunn put him back in the DCU and just said, yeah, he's Barry Allen again, but a different one, but he looks the same. But this box set is never getting an upgrade, because the show's just not that beloved to get an upgrade. God. And the Arrow one is way better. The Arrow one came out like 2 or 3 years before, and it's got 2 big cases. It has less episodes, but it's got 2 cases, and each disc is in its own individual slot. And the artwork is better. But I'll talk about that one another time. This one sucks. Finally, now that that rant is over, time to get back to the good. And this is probably the best piece of physical media that I own, for one very specific reason that I will get to. And it's my Superman movie collection box set. This has... God, I'm losing my voice. That was such a rant. But this collection has Superman 1 and the extended cut of Superman 1, Superman 2 and the Donner cut of Superman 2, Superman 3, Superman 4, Superman Returns, and then a bonus disc with some extra documentaries and special features. Now, let's talk about the presentation. Love it. Clean. Classic Superman logo, Fortress of Solitude background. Perfect. No need for any more. And just little bits of information on the back telling you what you're going to get in it. You know, the only thing I could think to improve on what you get in here is maybe like an art booklet or something if they really wanted to go all out. But honestly, when you see how much is in this, you won't miss an art book or anything. Again, inside cover. Nice, clean. It's the cape with the gold. I love the yellow or gold symbol on the back of the cape. I like that it's back. And, very helpful, all the information about all the discs is right here before you open it up again. And we have our discs. Now, one of these tabs is unfortunately broken, so I keep the Superman 3 and Superman 4 discs here, and it's held in by tape because the thing is broken. I never want to watch those movies anyway, so it's fine. But all your discs are in here. They all have their own slots. It's perfect. And the thing that makes this the best physical media release is, without a doubt, the amount of content it has in it. Dozens of hours of Superman content is in this. And I'm just going to quickly go through everything that you get. Starting with disc 1, you get your Superman the movie, the theatrical release, with commentary, a making of TV special, the 1951 film with George Reeves as Reeves. The 1951 George Reeves film, Superman and the Mole Men. The classic cartoons Super Rabbit, Snafooperman, and Stupor Duck. I haven't even watched that yet. I haven't gotten through all the content on these discs, and I've had this for years. It's insane. And some trailers and stuff. Disc 2 has the extended edition of the first film with commentary, 3 documentaries, some deleted scenes, some restored scenes, screen tests, an audio track, all that good stuff. Disc 3 has the theatrical release of Superman 2, the Richard Lester version, with commentary, a TV special, additional scenes, the Fleischer Superman series. The entire Fleischer Superman series is in these discs, as well as a trailer. The Donner Cut of Superman 2 comes with commentary, an introduction, a couple of little documentaries, and more Superman cartoons from the days of old. Then Superman 3 just has the film with commentary and a couple of additional scenes and a little mini documentary, and it's the same for Superman 4. Superman Returns then just has a bunch of extra stuff for Superman Returns that you would have gotten with the original disc anyway. And the bonus disc is just full of documentaries again and TV pilots for shows that never got off the ground. That is an insane amount of content to put into just the Superman movie collection. So much stuff. You get extra movies with this. You get an entire cartoon series from the 1940s with this. By the way, if you haven't seen the Fleischer Superman cartoons, watch it. It's the best animation that was ever created, and it was made 80 years ago. Insane. This is so packed full of stuff, and it's incredible. I don't know will I ever get through the amount of stuff in this, because it's an insane amount of Superman content to have, and it's wild. It is wild the amount that you get with this thing that probably costs like 30 quid. I don't remember how much I paid for it. I bought it that long ago. With that being said, that was my favorite and least favorite physical media. If this video does well, and if people want to hear me talk about physical media more, I'll do a follow-up video. I've got tons of physical media to talk about and review and all that kind of thing. Whenever a new kind of important big piece of physical media comes out, then I will review it, but only if it's got like extra stuff in it or has like a really unique presentation. I'm not just going to review like one that's just a disc and the poster. With that said, if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, comment below what's your favorite piece of physical media that you own. Let me know down below, and if you like more content like this, I talk about physical media a lot, or at least I try to. If you like what I'm doing here, then subscribe for more videos just like this one. Have a great day, everyone.